Yep. Hey, it's Mike Brennan, and we're back on MITech TV. But let's start with Dan Keelan. And now a little bit obviously, we're on MITech TV, and everybody knows I do MITech News. I may not know about all the stuff that you do, Dan, that is non-cannabis related. So why don't you explain it?
Sure. So thanks for having me on, both of you, Matt and Mike. So Mike and I are launching today what we're calling our Industry 4.0 survey. And it's part of an effort. In fact, I can see it on Mike's screen. We're looking right now for content as well as for sponsors who would be appearing on our Smart Mobility Today podcast, would be sponsors of this show, would appear in MITech News, and would appear in Global Automobility, which is my mobility tech project with a weekly publication. So Mike and I decided to kind of bring all those assets together and see what we can do to share some content and also to give sponsors some opportunity to get to a really big audience using 2 websites, a couple of email newsletters, both of the shows, this show and our end of the week podcast. And we're kicking all that off today with a survey. The survey will provide some news, we hope. In fact, I think the plan is to come back on this show in December and actually announce the results. So for the next 6 weeks, we're going to be asking people to go to the MITech News website or the Global Automobility website, click on the link to the survey. Takes a few minutes and just give us some information about what you think is important in the industry today.
The other kicker too is you got to get people. I'm like when you see NPR and they do these periodic drives for money, donations, right? You got to have some kind of premium to get people to react. So in this case, we do have a premium. Why don't you tell them about that, Dan?
Right. So we're going to randomly thank one of the survey respondents by providing them with 3 months of no charge promotion and ads. So website tiles and banners and such across all the properties that we're talking about. So both shows as well as both of the newsletters. And the areas we're thinking about are, it's pretty broad. It's autonomous vehicles and related EVs and battery technology, 3D printing, IoT, space, solar. Really, it's the big Industry 4.0 umbrella that contains lots of content. We hope the survey will help us understand better what's hot and what we should be talking about, and also how we should be providing that content to people, right? Website, e-magazine, shows like this, virtual events. So we'll be happy to get as many responses as we can because it'll make us hopefully a little smarter in what we do.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long will this survey take to complete, just so people have an idea of what they're going to be asked to do?
It's I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, it's 15 questions. It's 5 or 8 minutes, really. We want to know who you are, what industry you work in, what level, what kind of describe your job, and then give us some ideas of what's important to you, what's your economic outlook, what kind of media do you favor. But it is a pretty quick survey to complete.
Yeah, I looked at it. I think you could knock it off in less than 5 minutes. It's just boom, 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 check the box, right? So yeah. It's a lot of drop downs and check the box. You're not going to end up having to write a novel. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not an essay contest, but go ahead, Matt.
Right. All right. No, I was just wondering, what kind of trends are you seeing? A lot of this is asking people about what kind of media they prefer. What do you see these days? What's, I've heard that video is everything these days.
No.
Yeah. So video is obviously increasingly important. Just when you think about though on-demand content, the other 2 areas that seem to be one that's holding steady is audio only podcasts. They're very easy to consume. Matt, you know, with your background in radio, you know, there are a lot of people that that regard radio as that thing that kind of, you know, sits between your ears. So it's we're looking at audio and video. And then the other one is training and on-demand access to content and on-demand access to learning and certification. And I think of all of that in the B2B space is kind of overlapping, because the content that's the best, I think, for marketing a business to a business is content that educates and informs. And that's often similar to the content that you use for training and certification purposes.
And so it'll really help us. I haven't done a survey on my website in a while, and we're not sure exactly. It's kind of like the old days at the Free Press when I was there. I would go out in the field and people would tell me, why isn't the Free Press covering this? Why aren't you doing that? And I'd take it back to the editors and say, no, we're not going to do that. We know what's best. Well, we don't want to be that, those guys. And we want you to tell us what you want us to cover, and we'll do our best to cover it. And you can also tell us what medium you want us to cover it in, whether it's audio, video, text, newsletters, social media. I mean, we cover the gamut anyway, right?
Yep. And since we're that is right. And since we're kicking it off today, we also are open to anybody that wants to partner with us. Companies out there that are in this space can help sponsor this podcast of this survey. Could be on the show with us in 6 weeks when we talk about it. Can help us share the survey more widely. And then when we've done these before with with sponsoring partners, the nice thing for them is, we share all the content with them. So there's a learning that will happen for us through this, but anybody that partners with us will be able to take advantage of that same access to the content.